The binominal system is a unique political system that rewards coalition slates and that is used in order to vote for the parliamentary Chilean elections. In other words, people are in charge to give senators and deputies the vote, since the bicameral National Congress consists of the Senate, that is made up of 38 members elected from regions and sub-regions that serve approximately 8-year terms, and the Chamber of Deputies, that is composed by 120 members who are elected by popular vote to serve 4-year terms. This binominal system was made up of a safeguard against any change that could affect the political interests of the right-wing parties in the parliament, resulting in a more equal representation among the members of the parliaments. However, despite of the different political interests, the Concertación de Partidos por la Democracia in Chile usually obtained the majority of the votes. But why does this occur? This system was written in the Chilean Constitution of 1980 under the Pinochet regime, and it was created primarily by the senator and close collaborator of the dictator Jaime Guzmán. But how does this system work? The basis is focused on the strong relation and interaction of three institutions: the binominal electoral system, the non-elected senators, and the rigid laws that were enforced in the Constitution of 1980.
The first one consists of the division of the country in electoral districts. The senators choose two people who represent a list or coalition. Therefore, people vote for a list instead of a candidate. After the vote, when the tabulation takes place, it will be known which lists will get elected. Only in the case that one of the lists obtain the first majority, doubling the votes of the second majority, the two candidates of the same list will be members of the parliament. Otherwise, if the first majority does not double the second majority, only one candidate of each list will be chosen to be member of the parliament. The binominal system, as previously mentioned, is a system that intends to be equal and more representative of the different political interests. In this way, the right-wing forces that arose from the process that was led by Pinochet, which are Renovación Nacional and Unión Demócrata Independiente, need only around 30% of the total votes to elect a deputy or a senator in most districts if they act united in a same list. The low percentages, which are enough to elect someone, tends to be more and more evident in the composition of the Senate, which is the main responsible of the design of the binominal system. So, the Concertación por Partidos por la Democracia, that has obtained the absolute majority of the votes in the three parliamentary elections carried out up to date, has seen how its representation has come down from 22 senators elected in 1989 to 21 in 1993 and to 20 in 1997. In this way, it appears that the binominal system tends progressively to a tie in the representation achieved by the Concertación and the right wing in the Senate, in circumstances in which the difference of the votes between both political forces fluctuates between 15 and 20% of the total of the electorate. One concrete example of the binominal system is the case of the Senator Guido Girardi from the Nueva Mayoría coalition. that has been 20 years in the parliament representing the West Santiago district, in 4 times as a member of the Chamber of Deputies, and 1 as a senator.
The non-elected senators. There is another important point to take into account concerning the Chilean binominal system, and it's related to those senators that are not directly elected. When the Constitution of 1980 was drawn up, it allowed the existence of 9 non-elected senators. 2 of these senators were elected by the President of the Republic. Other 3 were elected by the Supreme Court, and the remaining, that is to say, the 4 senators left, were chosen by the National Security Council. However, the President had small options to choose, especially if we consider that our country has a representative democracy. For this reason, in the year 2005, this law was reformed, and the non-elected senators' seats were eliminated. Therefore, the 38 senators are, since that moment, directly elected. Nevertheless, this modification maintained the option of non-elected senators only in case that one of the 38 official senators dies or withdraws his or her position, being replaced by a candidate that belongs to the same political party. This happened recently with the non-elected senator Ena von Baer, who replaced the senator Pablo Longueira after his resign.
A rigid constitution. The constitutional reform of 1980 requires an elevated quorum for the valid amendment of its norms, and in every relevant situation in which changes want to be made, around 60 and 66% of the senators in office should assist. With that kind of demands, those norms of the Constitution, which are precisely the most democratic and challenged ones, become invulnerable. Although this is one of the main reasons why the Constitution is so rigid, there are other mechanisms that contribute to make our way to democracy even more difficult. First of all, there was Rosenda's Law, and the reorganization of the Supreme Court. The Constitution of 1980 established in Chapter Number 6 certain age restrictions for the members of the Supreme Court, forcing them to withdraw from their charges when they reach the age of 73, with the exception of the almighty magistrates from the Supreme Court of Justice. This provoked that in 1989, the average age of the ministers of the Supreme Court was around 81 years, which was very convenient for Patricio Elwin's groupies, due to the possibility to kick out all those judges that supported the military regime. This permitted a clean transition to democracy. But it's not all a bed of roses. Immediately after this renewal, Pinochet's Ministry of Justice, Hugo Rosende, took over the helm and proposed younger participants in 7 magistrates. Therefore, the Supreme Court was highly conservative now and worked in favor of Pinochet's plans, avoiding him to be accused responsible for all the cases of disappeared detainees.
Example of the Chilean binominal system. A representative example that would make easier to understand how the binominal system works is what happened in the year 1989, just when the dictatorship was ending, giving space to an emergent democracy in the country. In the circumscription of West Santiago, which is the one that concentrates the highest number of voters in the country, 2 main lists were confronting the seats of the Congress. The first list, La Concertación, representing the left-wing parties with the candidates Andrés Saldívar and Ricardo Lagos, against the second list, Democracia y Progreso, representing the right-wing parties with the candidates Jaime Guzmán and Miguel Otero. In relation to the results, they demonstrated a considerable advantage in favor of the candidates from the list of La Concertación. Each candidate obtained the 30% of the votes, while the candidate Jaime Guzmán obtained only the 17% of the ballot votes, and his list partner, Miguel Otero, obtained only the 15% of the votes. However, the list of La Concertación failed obtaining the double amount of votes than the right-wing list got, 61.89% against 32.50%, which, according to what the binominal system establishes, the elected candidates were Andrés Saldívar and Jaime Guzmán. And as a consequence, Ricardo Lagos were neglected, although he obtained more than 800,000 more votes than Guzmán.